How do I put the bow in my arrow?
Here it is, bow support. The bow I have right here is a Meza Lounge exclusive bow. It may not look like much as shown here, but feels like it rivals the paralysis levels as the Divine Galatine for Sword and Shield, which I've yet to show in the future. But as you can see, the sentence at the bottom shows that it has a paralysis value of 500. Compared with the Divine Galatine at 550, this Kezu bow I have falls short by just a tiny bit in numbers. But guess what? I don't have to fuse the paralysis coating with the arrows. And since that's the case, the main coating I may use is the power coating for more damage. Yes, I think I can manage just fine. To keep the most value of paralysis, I just have to make sure that all my arrows hit for the most part. The build I'll be going with first is a damage focus type, accompanied with combat supremacy. Now, I know this is a dangerous mix for support that wants a bit more damage, but I'm still testing the waters and seeing if I missed anything in the past. I want to figure out every nice damage source possible, and seeing if these tests affect my support game negatively. Plus, I coupled it with the armor skill named Skilled, which all of you may know by now as Speed Eater. If you have supported before, you may know that that's what you need at the very least, so that you may heal your low teammates more quickly than if you're trying to heal without it and at a slower rate. Alright, let's see what this bow has got. So after finishing off that Goku monkey, we slayed the Fatalis and decided to end there at floor 30. Not bad for finishing off one's first road, eh? But immediately after that quick road, I decided to change my armor skills for obvious reasons. Those explanations will be covered at the end. But before I show any more runs, here's a word from our sponsors.
いつまで続くんだろうな、こんなこと。さあな。泣いてんのか？別に。地震だ。地震だ。
Syria Roofing Tiles. And now, our feature presentation.
Okay, enough of potential anime ideas where we might cry over our rooftops. Here is my new bow build that I came up with after much contemplation. I'm glad I tested my first set before going very far, because that stamina drain from combat supremacy was giving me a hard time. Back with the Zenith Hermitar, I was lucky I drew my bow the moment it decided to do the 4-pound combo. If I drew it a bit earlier, I wouldn't even have enough stamina to make those 4 dodges. Actually, generally speaking, having that stamina drain was mentally draining too, because I had to think ahead of how to spend my time wisely after Rush Up's 30-second infinite stamina proc ended. I can only imagine that it will be most likely the same scenario for other Zenith monsters. So now I'll focus more for reliability and comfort. That'll be less damage for sure, but supports aren't supposed to be the main damage dealer anyway. So, time to help the next person and set off one. I promise, that was lag. I mean, just look at these moves. Yeah, starting a new one.
How are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining. Thank you.
Leave. Thank you.
And you're gonna thank me one day.
What? Don't do it. Emotional, damn it.
Well, yeah, these things happen. But not gonna lie, these disconnects were about to make me give up on my usual goal of helping a player for their ZP unlocks. And almost made me just make the video, but thanks to Tiger for accepting one more run to finish things off. My first teammate here is Fuyu Break, the Supreme Drunk, followed up by Phoenix, the Minimum, and lastly, Tigrano, the Devoted Husband. So in this particular server, the ZP armor tickets are locked behind floor 100, instead of 80 floors like the Rain server, which means the bar that I set for each video increases by a bit. But hey, I know you all have been watching long, so let's jump right into the run.
what you say.
Thank you. It burns. Then after styling on White Fatalis' special attack, we kicked its pinky toe and it toppled over. And now is the time for my rating for bow support. In this clip, while Tiger was taking a dump, I was checking to see if I could outdamage a Switch Axe and a Tonfa, while I soloed one Doge by itself. I slayed mine first, but to be fair, it was more like a 1v1, because I had more aggressive armor skills than they did. Bow Tech increases my damage by a huge amount, and even more when infusing power coating with the arrows. And for the most part, I had more damage increase from Adrenaline plus 2. The strength is surely up there, even for a mere bow support. Now this one is conditional because it's a custom weapon from this specific server. But with this particular bow, I am able to do the first paralyze onto White Fatalis with just 2 double shots. And, as you saw earlier, it had enough paralysis for me to paralyze the second time. For quick, efficient road runs, if your team has enough damage, we all know how important it is for a support to have enough paralysis against that Fatalis. Move aside, Divine Galatine, we are replacing you with Kezu Unlimited. In other servers, since there's no paralysis bow like the one I'm using, don't fear. You may still use the Evolution Clear Bow, grab a sigil with raw bow boost to increase your damage even more, since it's a no element weapon. Then just play the stagger game against the monsters. Time them correctly, and you may just bring their health from 100 to 0. I mentioned this back in my Tonfa video. Any weapon may clear those sleep bubbles, but for melee weapons, it comes with a death risk if you happen to misjudge your distance from it. However, with bow, that high risk changes to a minor inconvenience. Got sleeping teammates? Aim at their general direction with a spread shot and they'll get the message. Got someone sleeping on a job right in front of you? Just run right up to them and yell out, "Shoryuken!"
Perfectly good reason, I promise.
Now moving on to the cons, with this Kezubo, not all 5 arrows from the spread shot will always hit. Most of the time on every monster, there's that one arrow that likes to sneak past somehow, reducing my ability to paralyze faster. It may be a small skill issue from me, but man, sometimes those monsters move their bodies randomly when turning, staggering, roaring, or just being plain paralyzed.
Yeah bro, this is you.
This one is a minor inconvenience since bows are ranged and is usually at a good distance from monsters already, but its natural speed when putting away the bow is kind of slow. As shown throughout the whole video, I make up for it through logical foresight and put my weapon away ahead of time, though having more speed would take out some stress away, especially during long road runs. There's this small thing with bow that when if you are charging your shot but need to dodge a single attack, you may keep your charge after dodging and go straight back in the fray. When doing so, however, you'll be restricted for a few frames and you won't be able to do any type of movement or action. With the Zenith monsters, you see how every moment counts. But if there is a situation when you have to dodge many times in a row and you are holding a charge with the bow, dodge first, then let go of the button that charges your shot. You'll lose your shot, but you'll be able to dodge with no restriction. It is easy to forget when you haven't trained that muscle memory. Looking at the cons I laid out, I can quickly cancel out 2 of them, leaving many praises for the bow. The last con that would stay with me throughout eternity would probably be hitting all 5 arrows onto the monster. Most of the time I can do it, as you've seen in the video, but doing it 100% of the time? Nah, I'm not Asian enough. But damage-wise, it does not matter much. A little tidbit is that the widest arrows flying to the most left and to the most right side do the least amount of damage, so I wouldn't be missing much. So I'll give the support bow a very good 9 out of 10. But lastly, to finish this video off, we must rate our teammates as usual. So let's go. Will McTrap overcome his fear against Xanath Rathalos even when it's paralyzed? Does Fane von Floof actually like Camelio's tongue that much? What do you think Frenzy was talking about right here? Comment down below, wrong answers only. Will Chrom overcome his double dose of trauma from Fatalis' horrible singing? Huh? What the? And how did Naivete even die? And why can't Zoli... Ooh, nice buff. Carry on. Does Asuka actually like big balls of steel? Why did Sammy try pinning when there was no magnet visual on the monster? Will Fuyu Break ever reach floor 100? Does Tigrano have the hots for Rathalos? And lastly, does Phoenix know my anti-venom saved him there? If not, it's okay. Congrats on that floor 100. The fact that you're still watching makes me think you want something weird. So, well, here it is.
I cannot let my friends die.
Happy New Year's.